How's it going, YouTube? This is Guy, and I've reviewed quite a few Casio watches on this channel over the course of the last year. There's something about them that I really like, and the ones that I like the most are these watches, like the one that we have on the table here today. What we're looking at today is the Casio World Time. And when I say watches like the one that we have here today, what I mean is watches that really have this 1980s, 1990s throwback feel. There's something about it that just really appeals to me. Probably because I was a child of the 80s and, grew up in the 90s. I just, that era is always nostalgic. So when I see watches like this one that have that feel, I enjoy them. I don't care that they're not super expensive, high-end, high-quality luxury watches. And don't get me wrong, the quality of most of these affordable Casio watches are actually quite good. But what I mean to say is, they are affordable watches. They're not luxury watches. And I really, really like them. I think you can't make a mistake in getting any of these, 10, 15, 20... 25, maybe $50 Casio watches. They're a cheap thrill. They're a lot of fun. It's something that you don't have to feel compelled to wear all the time because, again, it's affordable. You can wear it a couple of times a month maybe and just enjoy it a little bit. And that's what I think about watches like this one. Now, again, this is the Casio World Time, and if you're a traveler, this is probably going to be the Casio watch for you. If you're looking for, a really budget, affordable watches, there are higher end Casios that have probably all of these same features and much, much more. But, if you just want a cheap, or I should say affordable, travel watch with multiple time zones, all of the basic Casio features, this one is really, really awesome. First things first, it does come on a steel bracelet, and it has a pretty simple dual button deployment clasp. The bracelet itself, it has the undesirable kind of folded link bracelet system, but it's relatively comfortable. I don't have a problem with it. It looks pretty good. Of course, this one has a bit of wear on it, but regardless, I think again for the price, it's attractive. It's attractive with that flair of the 1980s or 90s. Now, size-wise, let me grab my calipers real quick because I didn't measure it before the video. I'll just give you a quick look at kind of the case diameter. It's not huge. It's only around or just under. No, actually, it's right at about 40 millimeters from side to side. Since this is not a round case. We'll also measure this dimension here from the top of the case to about the bottom of the case, and that's about roughly 42 millimeters. So it's basically 40 by 40 square. It's once you factor in the bracelet coming off here, it looks a little more top heavy, and it is slightly a couple of millimeters anyway. But yeah, it's not humongous. It wears pretty nicely on the wrist. The display, you basically have a pretty simple, straightforward display once you get past all of these little, sub-dials and the pictograph and stuff. This top little dial here is just another method of telling the time. You can see that it's 1:58, and this small little hash mark here is pointing at roughly 1. This top little hash mark here is pointing basically at 58, and then this outer little mark is counting your current seconds, 35, 36, and so on. That's the purpose of that subdial. Over here we have this little pictograph of the world, I guess, and it kind of highlights, if I can get in real close there, which time zone is currently active. You can see it's basically the East Coast. Then, down on the main display, we have day, date, and the current time. There is a light function if we push the top right button, and it's just a little LED. There's like 2 bulbs on either side, but it's quite bright and it's very even, so, no complaints with the light. Now, when we're in the standard mode here, we can set up to 4 different time zones, and if you click the lower right search button, you can see we can go to the London as our second time zone. Paris is our third time zone, and Tokyo is our fourth. And as we scroll through them, you can probably see on the map here, it sort of highlights where we're going. So I'm kind of getting close here again, so you can see there's the East Coast, there's the London, there's the Paris, there's the Tokyo, and it just scrolls right through them. So you can have 4, and you can set those to be whatever time zones you want. You can have 4 time zones queued in there for your quick display, and just cycle through them whenever you want to. I'm not going to do the whole how do you set everything on here. The top left button is the adjust button. You can go in and change all those time zones, change the date, some daylight savings time, all that stuff. Basic Casio functionality. The lower left button here is the mode button, and when we step into the first mode, we get our world time. Right now, it is set to LAX, and you can change that to be whatever you want, of course. And it's also in 24-hour time, so it's 2200 hours. The next mode is your alarm, and you have up to 5 alarms, I believe. You scroll through them by clicking the search, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, there's alarm 3, alarm 4, alarm 5. This little function here I think is the snooze, and back to alarm number 1. So you can set up to 5 different alarms there, pretty straightforward. The next one is your countdown timer. It's currently set for an hour. To start it, I believe it is the bottom button here. You see there's a little second rundown, and you're just counting down, standard countdown timer. There's nothing new there. Push that, and then the top left to reset it, and then the last mode is your standard stopwatch. Same deal. Little running milliseconds counter up at that little window there, and then seconds, minutes, hours. Pretty straightforward. Stop that, reset it, brings us back to the main display, and we are in our Eastern time zone. And yeah, that's it. That's basically everything that this watch can do. I mean, I didn't go in there and show you every single little setting, but you get the idea. But yeah, basically for me, all of that world time stuff, multiple time zones, not really something that I'm ever going to use or need. Countdown timer, stopwatch, that's okay. I mean, I could probably use those. I rarely ever use alarms on my watches. It's really about the aesthetic and about the style. It's not. We talked about the the diameter of the case and stuff. Thickness, it's relatively thin. Let's take a quick look here. About 12 millimeters, and it's just really cool. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are going to laugh and be like, "Guy, what's wrong with you? Nobody wants to wear this ugly world time." I don't know. I think that it's a cool looking watch. I like all of my affordable Casio watches, be it the F91W, the A168. Of course, my square G-Shocks are my favorite G-Shocks. It's awesome. I love these watches. I'll go ahead and throw it on the wrist real quick and show you guys what it looks like if you're interested. Give me 1 sec. Alright, so here we have the Casio World Time on my probably just under 7-inch wrist, 6 3/4 to 7, somewhere in that ballpark. It looks great, it fits perfect. It's more or less the same as the square G-Shocks as far as how it rides on the wrist, except that we have this, half decent metal bracelet, if I'm being honest. I think it's okay. It's obviously not a super high quality Rolex Oyster bracelet, but I can't complain about the comfort. It's extremely light. I don't feel like I'm weighted down at all, despite the fact that we do have a metal bracelet, because these Casio watches are so lightweight. I think, what do these go for? Maybe $25-30 tops. It's hard to beat. I highly recommend it. It's a fun little watch. Something that if you're traveling and you really want to keep track of time zones, but you don't want to have an expensive GMT watch like a Rolex GMT Master 2 or any other pricey GMT watch, it's something you can throw on your wrist and not worry about it getting damaged or stolen or lost. And I'm going to give it 5 stars if I'm being honest. And I really suggest that if you're not the type of person that explores all of those affordable Casio offerings, I encourage you to do so and go back and look at my older videos and give them a chance. That's all I can say. Just, give them a chance. I really like them a lot. Alright guys, well, I just wanted to do a quick little video on this watch, just share it with you guys, tell you what I think about it. I like it quite a bit. I hope you guys like it too. And let me know down in the comments what you think. Talk to you later. I will have another review video coming up, hopefully within a week or less, as usual. So thanks again. Bye now.